Hey everyone, today we have a few great stories from r/EntitledParents. Our first story for today is Entitled Mother Steals My Car. I've already posted once on the subreddit, but here's my second story. This happened yesterday and I'm still pissed off. An important note, I'm in a wheelchair most of the time and have parking plates on our car. And now, our cast for this story. We have me, myself, dearest daughter, my fiance, entitled mother, and entitled father. This past week, my fiance and I have been staying with her parents 4 hours away for her sister's wedding, along with more of her extended family. Until yesterday, the trip had been lovely. Her family are surprisingly accepting of us and helpful when it comes to my disability. We arrived a few days earlier than other family members, so dearest daughter can spend more time with her parents and siblings. Since we've arrived, we've been joined by her grandparents, cool uncle, and his kids, plus her brother, his wife, and their kids. The wedding isn't until Saturday, so my fiancé have been passing the time by exploring the area and checking out local cafes, and that was our plan for that day too. We woke up around midday, and after doing our makeup and getting dressed, we go to the driveway to find our car gone. Naturally, we start panicking and frantically asking everyone home if they know what happened, including the entitled father. We cancel our plans for the day and spend 2 hours figuring out what to do when we hear a car pull into the driveway. We rush outside only to see our car pulling in and entitled mothers and her kids climbing out. Dearest daughter stomps up to her and demands to know what she was doing, me trailing along behind her. Dearest daughter, what are you doing with our car? Entitled mother, I just borrowed it to go to the supermarket. Me, why didn't you take your car? Entitled mother, because it's busy at this time of day and I wanted to get a spot. We just stared at her dumbfounded before entitled father rushed out of the house to join in. Entitled father, what's going on out here? Entitled mother, they're angry at me for borrowing their car. Entitled father, come on guys, it isn't that big of a deal. She has the kids with her. Me, then she can just take her own car and park in a parent spot. Entitled mother, but parking at the door was so much easier. You try shopping with 4 kids. I don't want them walking through a car park. Plus the eldest child has hurt his leg and needed it. After trying to explain how we didn't consider it borrowing if she didn't ask, how it was illegal for her to use my permit, and finding out entitled father had lied to us about knowing where our car was, his wife finally snapped. She knelt down in front of me and grabbed the wheels of my chair, holding me in place. She got into my face and started screaming. Entitled mother, if you're so sick you can't walk, why didn't they put you down? I'd be disappointed if I were your parents. Who would want for a daughter? You're lucky you're not my kid. I had enough at this point and started crying. I can't handle homophobia, and I'm the first to admit I'm a crybaby. Here's when dearest daughter's parents rush out of the house to see what's happening, and entitled mother turns on her own waterworks. She starts crying about how we're awful and selfish and will never understand how hard it is to raise children, because gays can't have kids apparently. Dearest daughter's dad made her get her shopping stuff out of the car and got our keys off her. Turns out entitled father snuck into our room when we were sleeping, took the keys, and then gave them to entitled mother. The rest of the day, she was awful to the two of us, being homophobic and tipping a whole glass of milk on me. After talking with dearest daughter's parents about how uncomfortable we were staying with her when she's being like this, we made the decision to check into the local hotel for the rest of our stay. And here's the cherry on top. After packing our things and getting in the car, we noticed that entitled mother had removed our heart-shaped Pride air freshener, taken down the photo of dearest daughter, me, plus a bunch of our friends, and messed with our radio. She also peeled off the sticker of the Team Instinct logo we had on our dash, along with throwing the Pikachu plush we had on there into the back of the car. Today is Thursday, and I'm really dreading having to see the two of them on Saturday. I hope they act like adults and not cause a scene at the wedding. Edit. Holy crap. Just woke up and this is really blown up. Thank you to everyone and your kind words and wishes. We've uninvited the two from our wedding, but sadly the wedding on Saturday isn't ours and we can't do anything about them being there. I absolutely love all the recommendations to sticker bomb their car in Pride stickers, and I'm absolutely considering that. It would piss her off so bad. I'm also loving the more destructive ideas, but alas, I'm a coward. We spoke to my in-laws, and they wanted to kick the entitled parents out of the house, but dearest daughter and I decided to go to a hotel instead, just to get a little bit of privacy. Only so much I can handle being woken up at 6 a.m. by kids asking me to play my Switch. Thank you all so much. Dearest daughter also wanted me to say hello, and hooray for gay rights. Edit 2. Hi again, everyone. The wedding was yesterday and people wanted a follow-up, so here it is. The ceremony was beautiful. I admit that I cried a little because I've known the bride since she was a toddler and I'm just so happy for her. Entitled mother and entitled father mostly stayed away from my fiance and I. Entitled mother told us that we looked lovely, but she said it in such a snarky way that I know she was just trying to start crap. During the night, I managed to get out of my wheelchair for one dance with my fiance. I can walk/stand for about 20 minutes max a day, but it really hurts, and she made a deal over it. But not a huge scene or anything. From what I heard from my future mother-in-law, she was just questioning if I needed the wheelchair at all and asking others' opinion on it. Apparently, since we left dearest daughter's parents' house, they've given entitled mother and entitled father the cold shoulder. So yeah, that's the update. Nothing huge or anything. Also, because I read it in the comments, we tried to find a huge to stick to the front of their car, but the closest adult shop is an hour away. We did buy glitter and gave it to their kids after the wedding, so there's a 70% chance they opened it in their car. Now, I don't know what you guys think, but I certainly think those entitled parents definitely deserve the revenge that they got at the end of that story. Our next story today is a little bit shorter, but here it is anyway. It's called, You're My Child, I Have the Right to Poison You. Some background information. I'm allergic to fish and seafood. It's not the anaphylactic type of allergy, thank goodness, so I'm not going to die if I eat some, but I do throw up, have a stomach ache, and a massive headache for a few hours. Enough fish or seafood and I break out in small red hives all over my arms. My mother didn't believe it, and as a child, I couldn't stand up to her properly. She'd force me to eat stuff with seafood or fish in it to prove I wasn't allergic, then ignore me as I was sick. One day, she held a dinner party. I was dressed up beautifully and trotted out to parade before the guests. At the time, I was around about 9, precocious for my age, and absolutely fed up with my mother making me sick. When she held out a fish cutlet, fish cooked with vegetables, rolled into a ball, covered in batter and fried, for me to eat, I saw my chance. Me, very loudly, I can't eat that, I'm allergic to fish. Mother, no you're not, eat it. Me, I'm allergic, I'll throw up. No Asian mother will back down in front of guests for fear of looking like she can't discipline her child. My mother grabbed the fish cutlet, shoved it into my mouth, and said in her most firm voice of command, eat. And so I ate it. Cut to about 10 minutes later, I go up to my mother and tug on her sari to get attention. Me, I don't feel so well. Ugh. I vomited all over her, on the expensive carpet, and in full view of all the guests. My mother has a reputation for being a kind, generous, charitable, and very religious woman. So in front of all the guests, she couldn't do anything except act sympathetic and send me off to bed to recover. I'm glad to say she never made me eat fish or seafood ever again. That right there is a satisfying end to that story. Alright, and one last short story for you today. Entitled mother yells at me for having a British accent. For background, I work at a supermarket as a cashier. I was helping this guy with a return when this middle-aged woman with her spawn storms up and cuts the line. She points at me and demands that I talk normally. I tell her to get in the back of the line or find another register. I finish with everyone in the line and she walks up to me again. She tells me that my accent is offending her and that I need to talk like normal Americans. I tell her that if she doesn't want to hear me talk, then she needs to find a different store. I come in the next morning and see her outside with a protest sign saying that I need to be fired and telling people to tell the manager to fire me. My manager sees what's going on and tells her to get out or he'll call the cops. She leaves shouting that they just lost a customer. I hope I never see her again. All I can say after that one is God bless America. Alright, well you've made it to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed those 3 short stories as much as I did. There's a lot of great stories that come from Entitled Parents. If you did enjoy those stories, please consider pressing the like button to let YouTube know that you did. It'll help me out a lot. Be sure to comment down below if there are any other subreddits you'd like me to showcase stories from, or if you'd like me to continue doing r/EntitledParents. I'd love to see what great stories we can find in other subreddits too. Also, if you're new here, consider subscribing so you can see when I post the next video. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.
I got bad